All right, man. Torture Talk. 6 o'clock show. 6 o'clock show. You know what it is, man. You know what it is. So today we're gonna be talking about some comments that Fat Joe made on Shannon Sharp show, talking about Kendrick and Drake beef, and how he felt about it, and all this good stuff. So before I get into that, you know I gotta get my spill. This is Torture Talk. If you like the content, please consider subscribing. If you're new here, let me work for your subscription today. All the beautiful, sexy ladies, put one in the chat. All the fellas, y'all know where to find the ones that just don't harass them. I don't sell no merch, but I do have content absolutely free. But if you want to leave a donation, links on the screen. Cash App, PayPal's in the description. They call me the hidden gem. I went from 1,300 subscribers to over 11,000. About to be 12,000 real soon and 1 million by Monday morning. Let me know where you from. I really appreciate it, man. So we're going to get right into it, man. Let's do it. Gonna have a good time today. Let's go. All right, so let's get it. This comes courtesy of Mooney chilling. Let's go.
Let's get into this video and let's talk about how this East Coast bias has affected the Kendrick Lamar versus Drake beef. Now, we all know the beef is over. It's done. We're not getting any more from the beef. It's done. But since the beef has been over, a lot of people who were acting weird throughout the beefs with their commentary, they're slowly but surely being exposed for why they said certain things. So if you
Yeah, I 100% agree on her on that. There's certain people out there, man. They pretend like they're not biased, but they're starting to really show all their biases when it comes to Kendrick Lamar. It's unbelievable, man. I know some of y'all looking at this like, damn, I didn't know he was compromised too. And I honestly think a lot of them were scared to say something about what was going on between Kendrick and Drake while the beef was going on. I think a lot of them were scared to say something. And I think now that it's over, a lot of people are coming out saying some things that are like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm looking at them sideways, like, really? You ain't say that before? So let's keep it going.
I remember back when the battle between Kendrick Lamar and Drake first kicked off, or before it actually kicked off in full, Fat Joe had made headlines because he got on his platform and declared that the battle between Drake and Kendrick was over because Kendrick Lamar was taking too long to respond, y'all.
I don't think Kendrick's cooking up. It don't take him 3-4 weeks to I think that's over. It don't take 3 or 4 weeks. Then the Tupac family want to sue Drake. I thought it was creative using the AI Tupac and then pushing the envelope and then pushing the envelope.
I'm going to say this. This is what money does to people. And you see this in politics a lot. There's people who would totally despise somebody, totally go crazy on them when it comes to certain issues and topics. And then you'll see them, because they want campaign finance, and you'll see them together. It's the same thing with hip hop. Same exact thing with hip hop. Some of these dudes, they get up here and they say these things. They don't give, it's like they give Drake the benefit of the doubt all the time. Doesn't matter. They don't give it to Kendrick. For some reason, they give it to Drake. And he's like, oh, Kendrick ain't gonna respond. No, it don't take you that long to respond. And it took Drake longer to respond to not like that. It took him longer to respond. But they don't call that out, which is crazy to me. But let's keep it going.
He calls that mess pushing the envelope. But yeah, y'all, he said Kendrick Lamar took too long. The battle is over. Mind y'all, Kendrick took less time than Drake did to respond to like that. But that's another story for another day, because for some reason, for some odd reason in all of this, Kendrick Lamar hasn't been afforded the same luxuries that Drake and J. Cole seem to be afforded throughout this entire battle and the aftermath.
And I don't know why that is. I ask myself this every day. How come y'all always give a pass to Drake? Me and my boy talk about Drake all the time. We go back and forth about Drake. And it just seems to me, he always giving Drake a pass, no matter what. Even if we bring up the PDF, he give Drake a pass. He'll try to figure a way. He'll do all these mental gymnastics to get around that. And it's like, it's just crazy to me how we got to this point. It's like, I thought this was hip hop. I thought everybody was supposed to be neutral and the battle was supposed to happen and then you judge off of one the battle. But it just seems like everybody want to jump on one side. But where was everybody at when Kendrick was smoking Drake? Where was everybody at then? It just seemed to me like nobody was helping out. Nobody was around. They let it happen. And now that the battle's over, now all of a sudden they got a lot to say now. Let's keep it going.
Recently, also, Fat Joe did a sit-down interview with Shannon Sharpe where he spoke on the Super Bowl. He starts the interview by saying he's about positivity, Fat Joe. He says he's about positivity and notes that Kendrick is the hottest guy in 2024, but he would have legitimately liked to see Wayne, Nicki, Drake, the Hot Boys, and a Cash Money halftime.
Man,
Let's
get that shit out of here, man. Get up out of here, Fat Joe. All y'all fall for these narratives. It's so disgusting how y'all just fall for anything. So let me get this right. Because everybody's saying this, because before this wasn't an issue. Nobody said nothing before. Now because Nicki Minaj said it, now it has to be a halftime show. Now the halftime show has to be everybody from Cash Money. Now we have to sit there and listen to girl, you look good on the back there. Playing with back there. Take a lick like a lollipop. Lick it like a lollipop. Yeah, now we gotta listen to that. Now we gotta listen to that. I just want every girl in the world. Like, come on, bro. Come on.
get into that clip real quick.
Because now it's a lot of politics that get involved. You know, just like you from LA, right? You live in LA.
Yeah.
Every 1 second is Kendrick Lamar on that radio.
Yeah.
The people who make decisions of the NFL live in LA. And they listening to that radio, and every 1 second is Kendrick Lamar. So they thinking that's all over America ringing off like that. And so they picked him. He's the biggest guy for 2024. I love it either way.
So
That's crazy. It's so much hypocrisy in that statement. It's unbelievable. But I'm gonna let her explain, then I'm gonna explain. But go ahead.
listening to that, I don't know about y'all, but it seems a little shady. So the only reason Kendrick got picked was because the people who pick the Super Bowl live in LA. And every time they hear the song in LA, they think it's ringing off everywhere all over the world. I mean, is it not? Was it not Like Us the song of the summer, aside from a bar song by Shabuzi? Is Kendrick Lamar not the hottest rapper and artist in the world right now? I don't know. Maybe I'm reaching. Maybe I'm digging a little too deep in it. I don't know.
If I'm Kendrick, I'm bringing out Shabuzi. I'll just bring out Shabuzi. Okay. I'll bring out Shabuzi on halftime. You want to really make people upset and mad? Bring out Shabuzi. A black artist. You could have brought out Wayne. You crazy. You could have brought out Wayne. It's like this, man. That's all I'm going to say. I don't see why people like Fat Joe. Now, I like Fat Joe. I think he's a certified legend, and I think he contributed a lot to hip hop. I like Fat Joe. I don't like his takes all the time. And he does play the fence a lot. You know what I'm saying? He does. For him to say that the song rings off in LA every second, Well, Fat Joe, where you currently live at? Don't you currently live in, believe Miami? Wasn't a song ringing off where you were at? Everywhere you went? And on top of that, Not Like Us just broke another streaming record. I think 1.2 billion streams or something like that. So you already know what time it is. But we know why he's doing this. Because, again, he's walking on eggshells when it comes to doodle ball. You don't want to step on that doodle ball. That's what it is. That's exactly what it is.
But I feel like it's shade. Every time Fat Joe has a comment on Kendrick Lamar, it's like shade and it's championing somebody else. I don't know. Maybe I'm reaching. It just doesn't sound to me like you love it, although you say you did. It sounds like you're making excuses outside of the obvious as to why he was picked and rightfully picked. Every time to me Fat Joe speaks on Kendrick, he's championing someone else. You declared him the loser before the beef because he didn't respond fast enough. And again, he responded quicker than Drake did.
That's 100% facts. She's speaking some facts. Shout out to Moni. She's speaking some facts right now. That's facts. You declared him the loser, Fat Joe, before he even started rapping. How? How do you do that? How do you do that? But that's what you did, though.
Like that. And you, for some reason, would rather a Cash Money Lil Wayne Super Bowl. It seems like a lot of y'all will prefer a Lil Wayne Super Bowl, but none of you seem to sell out his current tour that he's on. Or the last time I checked, none of his tour dates were sold out. But now it's all making sense to me why your comments have seemed shady when it comes to Kendrick. It makes sense to me now. You're an OVH. And here we have Fat Joe modeling the latest OVO X NBA collection.
Bro, I told you. These dudes are compromised. All of them. The reason why they didn't say nothing because Kendrick would have tore them up too, and they didn't want their career in jeopardy. But these dudes, yo, I'm telling you, bro, this is crazy. The Fat Jovi Ho. Jovi Ho. Jovi Ho. Fat Jovi Ho. Come on, bro. This is exactly why you say the things you say. Like, these dudes are not genuine, man. They're not. They're not, man. Like, come on, bro.
What Drake said on that song? I just made the connection. Listen, you can't pretend for too long. The truth usually comes out and the stances people make start to make sense eventually. The way the East Coast artists and the media, aside from like Jadakiss, Jay-Z, Nas, have acted towards Kendrick in all of this is it's very clear a lot of y'all are still upset about the East Coast versus West Coast beef decades later. So much so that y'all are adopting the Canadian and repping him and propping him up like some type of victim in this. And Kendrick Lamar is the little big but black and bully from Compton. I don't know, y'all. Maybe I'm reaching, but it's all starting to make sense why people were saying the things that they were saying. There's some type of connection towards Drake, and as to why they're making excuses of why he got his ass whooped.
I don't think you're reaching, and I'm going to explain at the end of this. Let it keep it going. It's over.
But cousins, let me know if I'm tripping. Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below.
All right. Make sure y'all go I was going to say fill out an app. I don't know why I said that. Make sure y'all go and subscribe to Chillin' with Moni. It will be in the description. All right. Full transparency. full transparency. I'm gonna keep it real with y'all. I'm from the East Coast, and Kendrick Lamar is the greatest rapper of all time. So, with that being said, there should be no East Coast West Coast bias anymore. That was over 20 years ago. If we talking like, I don't think the West Coast is worried about the East Coast when it comes to battling. But for some reason, a lot of East Coast artists still hold on to the battle between Big and Pac, and they feel like Pac got the best of Big. A lot of people feel that way. I think that Pac and Big was kind of a tie, but most people were saying that there was only really one direct diss, and that was Hit 'Em Up. You know what I'm saying? And Hail Mary, but it was really Hit 'Em Up. You know what I'm saying? Because he just directly said everything. So the reason why I think a lot of people still hold on to that is because no one really had a conversation that actually mended it and got rid of it. You know what I'm saying? I think it just kind of went away on its own, but it never really went away. Another resurgent came up when Kendrick did Control, and on Control he said he's East Coast, West Coast, he juggling both. He got both hands in the coast, juggling both. I think a lot of East Coast dudes felt some type of way about that. You know what I'm saying? And on top of that, I believe after the battle with what's the name? Snoop came through. He stomped the buildings and all that. That was all a part of that whole beef thing. But the biasness never really left a lot of East Coast old heads, not the young dudes, because the young dudes don't really even remember. But the old heads, or they wasn't even born to remember. But the old heads, they really holding on to that. And Kendrick Lamar is a threat to being better than the legends. And most of the legends, let's be clear, and I want to be honest here, the top legends, when we go for 1, 2, 3, and we'll say one would be Jay-Z, Biggie, and then it would probably be Pac. You know what I'm saying? Some people would put Pac, Jay, Big, but it would be Jay. Let's just say Jay, Big, Pac, whoever else, or Jay, Nas, Pac. And it's like the Giants always play in New York, but there's this one guy that threatens the East Coast ideology of who is the best ever, and that's Kendrick Lamar. And a lot of people, they can't stand the fact that there's this one guy who is surpassing everybody at a rapid pace. Because if you look at all of the charts, all of the lists that has came out, number one rapper ever, Jay-Z. Number 2 is Kendrick Lamar. And Kendrick Lamar has done this faster than Jay-Z, faster than Big, faster than Pac. Even though they had a untimely demise, and we sorry about that. But we're just saying, we're speaking of what's going on now. He has surpassed them. I'll be the first to say, Kendrick Lamar has surpassed Biggie and Pac. He has. You have to give him that. I mean, how else would you say he hasn't? You know what I'm saying? What would be your argument to say that he hasn't surpassed Big and Pac? And I ain't saying that because I don't like Big and Pac, because I do. But what would be your argument? What would be nostalgia? What would be your argument that he's not better than Big and Pac? What would be your argument that he's not better than Nas? You could say, oh, because he doesn't have this. He doesn't have an Illmatic. Yeah, he do. He has much more awards than Nas. He has much more longevity. You know what I'm saying, when it comes to records. Because believe it or not, Nas has classic albums with songs nobody really remembers. I'm just keeping it real. And Nas is one of my favorite rappers. Same thing with Big. Most of Big songs are commercial. the big ones, Hypnotize and a couple other records. What's the name? The Join with Jay, a bunch of records. But, and again, I'm not trying to shit on Big and Pac. I'm just saying there is an argument that could be made that he's better than all of them. There's an argument that could be made he's better than Jay too. I mean, the only thing Jay, I would say, got over Kendrick is time and maybe more Grammys. But others outside of that, that'll what happens in another 5 years. Are you going to say that Big and Jay and Nas and Pac is still better than Kendrick in another 5 years? What if Kendrick in another 5 years, he drops 2 more albums? They're both classic. They both win all these awards. And they both sell out tours. And they both do all these things. Are you going to still say that they're better than him? How much more time do a man need? If he has done everything, quality music at such a rapid pace, how can you say that he's not? Currently, how could you say he's not? And that's my thing. So a lot of East Coast dudes, they're holding on to that because they don't want to let go of that nostalgia. What do they look like saying a West Coast, a young guy from the West Coast is better than their guy Big? You know what I'm saying? I just don't get it. But either way, Kendrick is the GOAT. So I'm just going to keep it real. And yeah, that's it. So you guys have a good night. I'll see y'all in the morning, man. Peace. Bye.